So, guys, today I have here with me Valdimar Jóhannsson, the co-writer and director of Lamb, that is coming to the Italian cinemas, in every Italian cinemas around the country on the 31st of March, thanks to Wanted Cinema. So, welcome to Sul Divano di Ale, Valdimar Jóhannsson. How are you?
Uh, I'm great. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I want to start saying that I really enjoyed the movie. It's brilliant. I really loved it. It was amazing have the chance to watch in a movie theater. That's something that we lost for a while, but we can go to the movie theater without any worries finally. And so I wanted to ask you something about the production of the movie because I understood that it took 8 years to get the movie done, and there were a lot of concept, a visual concept. Numira Paz said in an interview that there were a lot of visual concept of Lamb, and I understood as well that the co-writer of the movie is an Icelandic poet, and the movie is really poetic in many ways because there is a lot of visuals. So, how was to pitch Lamb? How was your take to pitch to a production the movie and to get it done?
Uh, yeah, uh, I remember, when we went first and pitched the lamp, and yeah, a lot of people thought it was a very strange film, and then somehow we had, me and my producers and my writer, co-writer, we had been just talking about it in some bubble, so it was very good to pitch it for other people and to see their reaction. And we used a lot of also like a visual reference, to show people, and because people, a lot of people, they somehow they did not, they could not imagine what kind of film it would be in the end.
Yeah, because basically it's a story of grieving, a story of losing something that as human being we really want, like a child, and having like a sort of a miracle and a sort of something that probably human beings shouldn't deal with, but they are doing anyway. So it's a story that I like it because it's beautiful, because it's a universal story, looks like a regular drama, but the nice thing about storytelling that it's never what you tell, or at least it's not always what you tell, but how you tell it. And I believe Lamb is a brilliant way to tell this story about parenthood and about um, being attached to something so universal. So I can imagine how could be weird the idea of imagining the movie, but I believe the result is stunning. I mean, it's brilliantly made and is really touching the way it was brought to the screen. And it, some people were confused because many people thought it was an horror movie, but to me it looks like something more connected to kind of ancient Greek tale or a folk tale, something where humans are dealing with something they shouldn't deal with. You know what I mean? And so, where Lamb does come from, there is something Icelandic from the culture that you took to make the movie.
Yeah, we worked with our folk tales, non-specific. It was just we used just some elements that are very common in our folk tales, and in a way we were just trying to come up with our own folk tale. So yeah, it was because it's a very classical story with this one surrealist element, and yeah, for me, it's a family drama.
Yeah, it looks like really like a family drama with this element that it's really touching in so many way, and it's really scary in some other way, but not in a, let's say, genre way, but in a way they deal with this gift that they receive, and there are a lot of human element in the movie. And how was on set to, let's say, deal with lamb? Because I think there are just a few VFX, probably most of the star are practical effect.
We yeah, we have few, but somehow in the beginning we decided that we should do as much as we could in camera. We were working with 4 lamps, 10 children, puppets, so we had to shoot all of the scenes with Ata, with all these elements, but and then somehow it was melded together. But when it didn't work, then it's like a visual effects, and I was working with great people, Fredrik Nord and Peter Hjort, that did so amazing things.
Okay. Before I was saying that the movie has this kind of universal theme about parenthood and loss, and mostly dealing with something that it's not, let's say, human. It's not something that we can explain, but the main character, they kind of embrace it because their desire to have this child is way more bigger than the idea of saying, okay, maybe we should not actually go with this. And is there something that lamb can maybe teach us about the way we feels like maybe entitled to have everything we wish or we desire, and sometimes we should maybe take a couple of steps back? What is the in your mind the kind of story compared to our present?
At least in Lamb, you can see that they are suffering, Maria and Ingvar, and there is something that happened, and when Ata is born, they see that there's something that could what do you say, that could heal them, or make them happy again. They are almost willing to do everything to get it back. So that they just take it and start to raise it as their own child. And if it's right or wrong, it's they are probably just thinking about them, themselves, and but it's a little bit like that, that we always feel somehow that we can do almost everything that we want, also against the nature, and we feel that we are the kings, or even though we are just like we are so tiny against the nature.
We feel like we can do everything. We can even run even against nature sometimes.
Yeah. But I think somehow we should think about it, how we behave, because that is definitely something that we have to think about more.
Yeah, because what I love about the movie is that anyway there is this element of sometimes the movie is really intense. Speaking of the feeling, the connection that the main character have toward the baby, the lamb, and sometimes it's really light. I think about the scene where they have the brother and there is that dancing scene, they're all around dancing. It's magnificent because it brings you kind of away from the idea that you have a, let's say you have this hybrid human lamb in the scene, and it's even touching because there is this light moment. How was to shoot that moment? I mean, to have this kind of a really kind of, let's say a cut from the main tale and have this moment that is way more warm and really heartfelt. Looks like something it was difficult to break like the tension from the rest of the tale, or was like natural for the actor and for you on set as well?
Yeah, you know, I had a very good relationship with all the actors, and we didn't do, you know, any rehearsals before shooting. But I was in, you know, I was also always in like a dialogue with them, and about all the scenes, and you know, I was very lucky to have all these amazing actors working with me, and you know, also helping me out, you know, because somehow we were just doing it all together. So yeah, we just talked, you know, a lot about every scene and what, you know, where it should go and what kind of feeling. So yeah, it helped a lot, you know, going through it with the actors. Okay. And what kind of motion we wanted to, you know, yeah, the direction of the scene, where it should end and what kind of mood, and yeah.
Felt like natural to go through the scene in a way.
Yeah, you know, I have to admit, you know, I was very stressed, you know, because this is my first feature, and somehow, you know, a lot of time I was not quite sure, but you know, I was working also with so amazing crew that, you know, were, you know, almost everybody were my friends, and so somehow, you know, I was surrounded by amazing people that were helping me and supporting me. So
okay, and I wanted to ask as well, because Lambs seems like a movie that, like this new wave of director like Robert Eggers, David Lowery, Giulio Ducournau, Michael Sarnowski, they are making those movies that they don't want to take by the hand the audience and giving them all, let's say, every single piece of information about the story. Those are like movies that they have a big heart, a big, they pursue the story and something more, and they are done, try to do everything using pure cinema, and they go back to the idea of giving information to the audience, but then it's up to the audience to make up their mind about the story and what happened in the story. So it's something that moving forward, you want to keep chase. There is a specific kind, let's say, poetic view that you have about your story, and there is a journey that you want to go through as a director.
You know, we decided in the beginning that, you know, we should try to have as little dialogue as possible. That we should not, if we could, you know, if we could, you know, what do you say, have it like visual, you know, we could show it, then we didn't have to, you know, also talk about it, and they don't have to explain it with some dialogue. So that was what we are trying to do in the beginning, to have as little dialogue as possible. And also, I think, you know, I think it's also nice, you know, at least, you know, we like you know, films that are not explained everything, that you somehow as audience, you you are somehow a part of it, because it's your interpretation of the film, you know. So you have to, you know, come up with what is the meaning and what is happening and what happened there, and you know, because yeah, you know, we liked, you know, films like that, and when you are somehow part of the film.
Okay, okay, and it's Lamb is something that has an ending that is leaving to the audience a lot to think about. It's a movie that stays with you for a couple of days because you keep going back to say, okay, but what actually is gonna be like? I mean, there is any chance to explore something more about that tale? There is any chance to have something uh, that can explore other even spiritually, not actually a sequel per se, but something that can bring that poetry with a new story that it's similar to Lamb and can explore new theme about what you told in this movie.
You know, I've met so many people, you know, when I've been traveling with the film, and I don't know how many, you know, explanations I've got, you know, of the meaning of the film and what the end is telling, and you know, both people think it's a very happy ending and very, you know, sad ending, and so I really like, you know, when people you know, are telling me something that I haven't even thought about, you know, that and sometimes yeah, they come up with so amazing ideas that I'm ashamed that I didn't, you know, think about it, you know. So you know, it's so nice that, you know, somehow, yeah, you know, that I like that, you know, that people have like a totally different opinion of what things mean, and I then, you know, I don't like to explain what it, you know, what it meant for me, and
Yeah.
you know, because then I think I'm somehow destroying, you know, then it's not like, then you don't can come up with some you know, some other great ideas, you know. It's
Yeah.
it gets boring, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the beauty of those kind of storytelling where it's the audience to be actually involved in the story and to make up something that means for them, even if the information are actually in the movie. You told the story, you gave the information, but then it's up to the audience to say, okay, I believe this is where it's going. And one question that I had is that Iceland is really a protagonist in the movie. I mean, it's the location where you shot the movie. It's really a big part of the movie, and I just came back after 9 years in Ireland, and I shoot a couple of stuff there, and the weather is kind of unforgiving in Ireland for a filmmaker. And I can imagine in Iceland, was it difficult to find the right location to give the perfect mood to the movie, and was it difficult to shoot there during production?
It was you know, it took a very long time to find the right location. We drove, I don't know how often, around Iceland. I had done some drawings of my dream farm, and also made it out of clay, some houses, and I took a photos, and I was sending to all the sheep farmers in Iceland, and somehow, you know, we didn't find the right farm, and then in the end, my brother and his daughter found a very interesting house in the north, you know, not so far away from where I grew up, and it was rather isolated. It was surrounded by mountains, beautiful mountains, and nobody had lived there, in this location for 20 years. So, it was very different from the farm that I wanted, but somehow the layout and also that we could shoot out of, through the window, everywhere, and you only saw like mountain or some nature. So I was very happy with this location in the end. Working there, it was great because we were just staying there, and nobody was coming there. It was only the crew and actor, and and we lived close to the location. So I think it was good to be so isolated, and just everybody was so focused.
That's fantastic. And do you have any after Lamb, after this experience, because sometimes when you shoot something, then you start to have new thoughts, new ideas, and is there something that you kind of elaborated during the production, and maybe you have something more coming on our way, or is there a project that you already are already cooking in your mind, or
I work a lot with images, and that was how this all started. I had like a book that I was collecting, like paintings. I was doing drawings and some photos, and just collecting a lot of reference. And I did that in some time before my producers introduced me to Sjón, and we started working together. But I have started again, collecting a lot of reference photos, and some kind, trying to come up with some mood. But it's the same. I don't have the story yet, but we will see what will come out of it. You never know what will be the next.
Yeah, best of luck with that. I'm actually excited to see your next movie after Lambo. It's a really brilliant movie to put it simple. I really enjoyed.
Thank you so much.
Last thing I wanted to ask you is, do you want to say something to the audience to go to the cinema? How will you describe Lamb for them?
I would say to everybody, don't read anything about it. Don't watch trailer. Just go to the cinema, and you should just go and knowing as little as possible. I think that is best.
Okay, perfect. I like that. I mean, I grew up in a kind of a sort of a old way of going to the movies, and when I was a kid, there were no many trailers going around because internet was really in the early stage and stuff like that. So I was just going to the movie because I knew that there was a movie in the cinema. So it's something that we kind of lost with internet and many things, because you have all these trailers going around, and we kind of keep making stuff up just because of the trailer. But sometimes we should just go. Even sometimes when I go to movie festival, it's beautiful because I know just the name of the director, the cast, and maybe there is a small synopsis. And sometimes I have friends asking, what are you going to watch? And I say, I don't know, Lamb. And they say, what is this about? I have no clue. I just want to watch the movie.
Yeah, I think it's very good, because sometimes, when people are watching trailers, they decide what kind of genre it is, just reading it from the trailer. And so, I think it's sometimes much better that you should know as little as possible. I think it's good.
Totally. So thank you so much for this interview and for your time. I hope people here in Italy as well will go to the movies to watch Lamp, and I hope they will have a very good time because the movie is really brilliant. So thank you so much, and
thank you so much. So nice talking to you.
Thank you, and I hope to see your next movie really soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.